What's up guys, and welcome back to my Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video. Today, rather than speculating on a certain issue or a certain topic, I am going to be analysing some of the images that have supposedly been leaked or been put out on the internet of, either things from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or things concerning Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Going to be looking at several different images you may have seen around the web, on Twitter, on different sites like Facebook maybe, I'm not sure, other sites like that, and we sort of, looking at them and seeing if we can tell whether they are real or whether they're indeed fake. So, let's start off with this first image. This image was actually sort of put out on the internet like a day or two after the announcement, and instantly that makes me think, well, they're not going to release info like this 2 days right after the announcement, as well as the fact this picture actually looks pretty clear. It's not like a scan we usually get for Coro, it's a full-on proper picture, so that instantly makes me think, maybe it's not real, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. So, the first thing I picked out from this image looking at is we have the starter selection screen. There you can see a Trico, a Torchic, and a Mudkip apparently, with a different text box than we've seen in X and Y, a similar styled background I believe, but obviously with Trico, Torchic and Mudkip there. However, the thing that also strikes me about that bit is the fact that they're very close together. Torchic and Mudkip are really quite close together there, plus they're not really, they have blank expressions. And I don't think that would be put to the game, plus Trico's not looking at the cat at the sort of the centre of the screen now, and I believe if they did that, they would make Trico look at the middle of the screen, just so it would look a bit more like you were actually looking at Trico and Trico was looking back at you, rather than just like staring blankly into the distance. Second thing I picked up on for here is we have apparently two gameplay screenshots here, one of Rayquaza in battle and the other one of Rayquaza flying through the air, assuming similar to the scene in Pokemon Emerald, where Rayquaza flies down and calms Kyogre and Groudon. So obviously the gameplay picture, it looks exactly like X and Y, so that doesn't necessarily mean it's fake, because obviously Ruby and Sapphire or Omega and Alpha are going to be very similar to X and Y. There might be a few changes, but there's not going to be a huge amount of change in terms of how the game looks. So it could easily actually be from Alpha and Omega, but the fact that it looks exactly sort of like the desert area you got around by Glittering Cave, I think it is, it could easily be from there. We have no indication to show us from home. And the other screenshot, it doesn't look like from a game. It doesn't look like to be from a game for me. It looks just like art that's been put in a square that made it to look like a game screen. Really, it doesn't look like it'd be a quality you get from a 3DS screen. Next thing I picked out here, next thing I picked out here was obviously below the start selection screen here we have the starters once more. We have Trico, Torchic and Mudkip, and then we have 3 hours going down from each of them, going to 3 Starbursts, and in the middle of Starburst there is Mega Blaziken leading off from Torchic. That's obviously because Torchic evolves into Combusken, then to Blaziken, and then Blaziken can Mega Evolve into Mega Blaziken. So obviously this part of the image here is dictating that Trico is obviously going to Sceptile, and Sceptile is going to gain a Mega Evolution, and then Mudkip is going to get to Swampert, and Swampert is also going to gain a Mega Evolution. Obviously this image doesn't actually have the Mega Evolutions because they haven't put them in that sort of thing, or they wouldn't reveal them this early, because that would be absolutely crazy if they did. So it's sort of just hinting, or pretty much not hinting, but telling us there are going to be Mega Evolutions for Sceptile and Swampert there. And I don't think they haven't said anything to us, have they, at all? They haven't made any official announcements or whatever. I think they're going to hold off and tease us for a long time on that issue, and just sort of make people, I guess, interested in the game, and just to sort of keep them interested and keep them watching, rather than sort of tear straight away and then the hype dying down after a while. Then, the next thing I looked at from this image here is the logos at the bottom right. You can see them here. We have obviously a red logo for Omega Ruby, and then a blue logo for Alpha Sapphire. The Ruby logo has pretty much a ruby in it, and the Sapphire logo has a sapphire in it as well. But if we compare these logos to the logos from the official box art that was shown in obviously Coro scans, official Coro scans, and also obviously just general releases, we can see these logos don't match up. The top part of the logo is fairly similar in the text, but the second set of text on the logo is different. Omega is styled very sharply, as is the English version for the logo there, and Sapphire is styled with some curves. It's very curvy, whereas on the scan we're looking at here, the second part is just literally, it's a font. There's nothing special about it at all. So why would they change the logo? There would be no reason they would have to change, or no reason they would have to change the logo, especially this soon after releasing the game. So that's another thing there. Then the last thing to look at for this scan is the fact, or the biggest part of the scan possibly, as we have in the centre we have Rayquaza, then we have Kyogre and Groudon on the right hand side and left hand side respectively, and then arrows going into Rayquaza, and then another arrow carrying off to a black silhouette. Now this thing looks sort of like Rayquaza, but it looks bulkier, and it's actually got sort of thicker hands now. Its head's changed slightly. We can't see the whole thing because obviously it's just a silhouette, so we can't, we haven't got the tail either. It just shows us sort of the top of the body. This pretty much is indicating that you can fuse Kyogre, Rayquaza, and Groudon to make one Pokemon. Now we've already seen fusion in with obviously Black Kyurem, White Kyurem, with Zekrom, Reshiram, and Kyurem respectively. Obviously those were just with Reshiram and Kyurem or Zekrom and Kyurem. There wasn't a triple fusion, and for them to do that, it would be very weird, I think, in my opinion at least. Plus, obviously, to go for another fusion, pretty much exactly the same as what we've seen already, it would be pretty weird for me. I wouldn't really, I don't know, that wouldn't make any sense to me. It'd be like they would be reusing the same idea again, and a lot of people wouldn't like it. I don't think I'd like it, but a triple fusion might be a bit more innovative, but the fact there's a triple fusion again makes me feel, no, it doesn't really work that way. Plus, here we also have the art for obviously Kyogre and Groudon. These arts are their old arts from, obviously from when Ruby and Sapphire were originally released. There's not the new artworks we've seen at all. So again, that sort of makes you think, okay, what's going on here? Why haven't they used new artwork or whatever? So my judgment for this scan is it's most likely fake, mainly because of the different logos, and plus the fact that it came out like a day after the announcement, so there's no way it was going to be real at all. Moving on to the second, it's not really a scan this one, but several images that are popping up. In the first image here we see a player being followed around by a Mudkip, and then what looks like to be a Wingull, and also a Team Aqua Grunt in a tunnel. Obviously it's supposed to be Rust Turf tunnel, as you can see, with sort of the same design of the slope coming up from the entrance, and then the slope going up to the bank where the Pokeball is sat, or the item is. And then in the second image here, you can see a whole area of Rust Turf tunnel, as you can see. The entrance coming in from the Rustboro side, leading through where the fighting guy and his love are, with the rocks blocking their way. You have to use Rock Smash on, lead down to the hiker that battles you at some point during the game, and then the two exits there, one to Verdun Turf Town, and the other one just down to a little area where you can get some black glasses and whatnot. So, this is also joined by a third image of apparently Sootopolis City Gym. It looks very similar to the gym from X and Y. I can't quite remember the city name, the grass type gym. City name, I can get it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite get it. But it looks very similar in that sense, except we have a waterfall rather than a tree, and then the platforms are slightly different. They're very similar in the fact that they have the same sort of the spots for jumping. There's no ropes, but who knows. But these images, all three of these images, were made by the same person on DeviantArt. They made fan-made images of obviously Rust Turf Tunnel and then Sootopolis City Gym. And so obviously, once someone gets this image, posts it out saying, "Oh my god, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire," sort of thing, then it just gets shared via Twitter or whatever, and then people don't know the source, so they instantly think it might be a screenshot from the game. And to be fair, they are pretty good imitations of the game in terms of the character model and stuff like that. The only thing that doesn't really sort of think no at all is the fact that on the maps, the slopes, there's no smoothness at the top of the slopes. It's just a jagged edge, it goes up, and then that's all where the texture stops, and then the texture going along there. And also with Sootopolis City Gym, it looks exactly like the gym from X and Y. So again, that's going to make me think it's fake there. But these are definitely fake because someone made them on DeviantArt. Next up, we have another image. This one came out exactly a couple of days after Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were released again, and this one is supposed to show you a Mega Evolution of Sceptile. You can see Sceptile there with the evolution arrow going to apparently what is Mega Sceptile. We can assume this Mega Evolution of Sceptile will be a grass flying type, just looking at its wings and whatnot. But again, as I mentioned earlier, they will not release the Mega Evolutions for Sceptile and Swampert this early. They're going to keep teasing us about it and sort of just sort of hinting every now and again, but I don't think they'll release the Mega Evolutions for them for a good month or two at least, if not until like a month before the games come out, just to sort of keep people coming back, keep people checking, keep the hype going. Otherwise, if they release everything like, oh yeah, these two get Mega Evolutions, Kyogre and Groudon got new forms, everything, then no one's going to be hyped about it during the summer. They're going to waste all their hype right now, and then the hype will not be there for people to buy the game eventually in autumn. They might even try and keep the Mega Evolutions for Sceptile and Swampert a secret until the games come out, because then that would be crazy if they did, but it would be really interesting to see if they actually could. Next up we have another scan here, this one featuring, it's very red this scan, mainly focused on Groudon. You can see here. There are several things to look at from it. First one, we have an image of Groudon, some Groudon art at the top right of the page. Looks very similar to the art from the Omega Ruby box art and stuff like that. Which is fair enough, because obviously if it's going to be an official scan, as I mentioned just now, they're going to use a new form, or most likely use a new form, rather than using an old form. Then, also, the thing I put out here at the bottom left corner of the scan, you can see a Zygarde with an arrow and then leading to a Mega Evolution symbol. This would be suggesting that Zygarde is going to get a Mega Evolution in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which is very unlikely in my opinion. If it's going to get a Mega Evolution, it's going to be in Pokemon Z. It's not going to be in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I have no idea why it would be contained on the same scan as Omega Ruby stuff. The next thing to pick out from this scan is the fact that we have pretty much a gameplay picture again, possibly showing Groudon's new form in battle. You can see there it's got its glowing spots and stuff like that, so it looks very similar to the art we've got of Groudon. However, one thing to point out here is the art of the Groudon. As I was saying just now, the Groudon there was made not by a Game Freak employee, it was made by Angry Aaron on DeviantArt, and you can see that on screen now. You know, I just got the picture from his DeviantArt, and there it is there. So the person that made this fake scan obviously just grabbed that picture, slapped it on their scan, so this is 100% fake. There is no way that Angry Aaron would either have GameArk's DeviantArt, GameArk's exact artwork, or for some reason managed to copy it completely exactly, and there's no way Game Freak would be using his artwork, sort of thing. So this is again completely fake. Next up we have, once I managed to, this is a very small and quick picture. This is still in debate whether it's fake or not. It seems to be a picture or a scan of a magazine or a web page with the release dates for loads of different games around, obviously written to Nintendo. We can see a Wii U logo at the bottom there. We can't really see much else apart from exclusive camouflage, stealth, weapons pack and wolf mission. No idea really what that's relating to there. But in the center of the page here we see a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with November 16th marked on them. Now, really, they didn't release the game until, it was about almost 2 weeks ago. And they were being very secretive about it. There was no leaks before it, possibly suggesting we might get an announcement soon. There was nothing, it just came completely out of the blue. And if they were going to have to print magazines or whatever, I doubt that, it would have stayed properly secret, if you get what I mean there. So I'm not sure about this release date, November 16th. Obviously we're getting it in November, but it's why would they tell us the release date right now? We didn't get the release date for X and Y for ages after the initial announcement. Also, November 16th is actually a Sunday, so why would they release new Pokemon games on a Sunday when a lot of shops either are closed or not open as long? Pokemon X and Y released on Saturday, which is a lot better time for selling. It would be terrible. There's no post on Sundays for most people, so the people that order in the post would have to wait till Monday. It would just be a completely absurd date to release the games on, and if they did, that'd be a terrible move by Game Freak, and they really need to consult their freaking people that make decisions like this. It would be terrible. So in my opinion, this is fake, but there's no 100%ness there. Next scans we have, or scans, we can see here one scan or one picture image debates or shows an epic new adventure is coming, Pokemon, and then two 3DSs down here, one based on Alpha Sapphire, one based on Omega Ruby, and then at the bottom, explore a dramatic new world, with obviously the game box arts there, and then the Pokebank and the something symbol, I don't know what the N stands for, and it says launching worldwide November 2014. Then the scan we have here seems to be, at the bottom left you can see it shows the same 3DS as we just looked at, a red 3DS with Groudon on it with, you can see it glowing area there, so we can assume either they're from the same source, or the person making the scan or faking the scan has just grabbed this picture and put it on here just to sort of make it a little more legit, I guess. But what else do we see in the scan? We see in the center of the page there is a Mega Shinka, or a Mega Ring, that was shown on Pokemon Get TV the other weekend when the gameplay pictures were revealed. And you can see there what it is. It doesn't make any indication why it's on the page or the scan or whatever, but there is an arrow leading from the 3DS screens to it. There are two 3DS screens on the right side, one depicting a Mega Evolution and the other depicting what seems to be a Clamperl fighting a Flabébé. So who knows. At the top left here we also have the box art. However, in this case the box art are the official box arts. They're not hard to fake anyway. We can see right at the top of the page says November 20, we can assume 14. So yeah, and off the bottom right we have Nintendo 3DS and Pokemon Banks mentioned there as well. So, what is the Mega Evolution there? It looks to be, in my opinion, it's to be Mega Ludicolo. Because you can see it's thing around its head, its coconut thing on top of its head. It's exactly the right silhouette to be a Mega Ludicolo. Mega Ludicolo, however, is not that likely in my opinion, so I don't know why, if they were going to reveal a Mega for a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, that Ludicolo would be the first one to be done. I guess the second 3DS screenshot here with Clamperl and Flabébé might be referencing dive, like might be saying, okay, in the games you can dive, and you can see the whole battle screen there is blue. It's a bluey colour, which might be because of the fact it's using water gun or whatever it's using that makes the screen go all blue, or might be because they're trying to imitate a dark or a dive environment. But again, in my opinion, these scans are fake because, one, why would they release new DSs for them straight off the bat? Two, if we look at the DS screenshot here, the logos for Alpha Sapphire and Mega Ruby over the top of them don't look good. They don't look right. They look stretched. They look weird. They just look like they've been rotated and slightly skewed to look like they're going in the distance. They don't look like they were actually created by the Pokemon Company or Game Freak or whatever. And obviously the scan again, why would they release the Mega Evolutions early? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay then, on to the last, I think it's a scan, I'm not quite sure. Yes, last, it's not a scan, it's a picture actually, but the last picture for today's video. This one, as you can see here, it's a picture of a 3DS in which apparently you can see Brendan, or Brandon, the protagonist of Ruby and Sapphire, and obviously we can assume the remakes of Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, walking wherever with a bit of text on the bottom, and then also on the bottom screen you can see a map of the home region. Maybe they're using the Pokegear and viewing the map down there, who knows. But, however, what can we pick out from the screenshot? First of all, let's have a look. Looking at Brandon a bit closer, we can see that there's a blue thing behind him, which looks to be, I guess, a mudkip. You can see its head, bit of orange, and then its tail there. So that's one thing, and it's sort of, following Pokemon. But if we take a close look at the map from the bottom screen, you can see it's very similar to the Kalos map. In fact, it's too similar, because if I show you this picture, this is a picture from the same person who earlier made the DeviantArt images of Rush Turf Tunnel and that, and you can see it's a home map in a style of X and Y, and that is exactly the same map as we can see on the bottom screen there. You can see the exact same sort of path, set out, whatever. They've just basically taken this map, put it on the bottom screen, blurred it a bit to make it look more realistic, and pretty much that's it. Top screen, it looks to be, obviously the background looks to be when you enter into Lumious City for the first time. Where they got the protagonist from, it's probably just been drawn on, I'm guessing, and blurred a lot. And the mudkip doesn't look like it's actually following you, it looks like it stood next to you, so again that sort of adds some more unreliability to it. It has a yellow bag, he has a yellow bag too, so I don't know why it's a yellow bag rather than whatever else he is supposed to have. I think it's a black bag, isn't it? I'm not quite sure, or maybe it's like a creamy coloured bag or something, I'm confused. But yes, this is again fake because the exact same map that's been fan-made is being used in this scan. So guys, that's it for today's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video. A lot of stuff covered in this video, a long video too. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, and also let me know what you think about all the fake scans and fake images that have been going around recently. Have you believed any of them when you saw them, or have you been skeptical, or have you just sort of been, been a detective and thought, nope, wrong, wrong, wrong. Also, would you guys like me to cover fake scans that come out, like if we see it, well, if we don't know whether it's fake or not, would you want me to make a video on it when it's released or when it's going around or whatever, and analyse it and look and try and predict whether it's fake or not? Let me know what you'd like to see, guys. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.